They called me the cleaner. It's a title that sticks, like mud on a good suit. Not because I swept floors or polished silver, no. My job was to erase problems. Big problems. The kind that leave stains on more than just the carpet. Quietly. Completely. My real name. It doesn't matter. Names are for people with mortgages, 9 to 5 South, and a life they can actually claim. I haven't had one of those in 23 years. For 23 years, I've been the guy you call to fix the unfixable, to make the visible disappear. But tonight, everything changes. Tonight, I'm fixing my own mess. It all started with a ghost on the line, a call from a number I deleted, buried, and tried to forget a long time ago. I should have ignored it, let it ring out into the silence of my carefully constructed new life. But curiosity, it's a funny thing. It has a voice louder than any instinct, louder even than fear. I answered. The voice on the other end was like gravel and smoke. "We need you," it said. One last time. The words hung in the air, heavy with history. Big mess. Big client. I told him I was done, retired. The line went quiet for a second, and then came a low, chilling laugh. "You don't get to retire, Marco." Hearing my name, my real name after all this time, was like a jolt of electricity. It was a name I thought I'd shed like a second skin. It was a chain, and they had just pulled on it. The meeting point was an old, crumbling villa on the outskirts of Naples. The rain was coming down hard, relentless, each drop feeling like a judgment against the windshield. It was the kind of night that washes things away, or so you hope. The job on the surface was simple, the kind of work I could do in my sleep. Make sure no trace remained of a man who, for all intents and purposes, no longer existed. A standard cleanup. I'd done hundreds, but when I stepped inside, the familiar scent of iron and decay was mixed with something else, impossibility. Lying on the cold marble floor was a man who looked exactly like me. The same tired lines around the eyes. The same thin scar above the left eyebrow from a mistake I made in Lisbon. The same haunting silence in his final expression. It was like looking into a broken mirror. My reflection was staring back at me, lifeless. Before I could even process the shock, the heavy oak door creaked open behind me. Two men stepped into the room, moving with the eerie calm of shadows that have seen it all. They didn't seem surprised to see me. In fact, they looked almost expectant. One of them, the taller one with a face like carved stone, spoke first. His voice was flat, devoid of emotion. "You disappeared 15 years ago," he said, his eyes scanning the scene, then settling on me. "The people you worked for, they value loyalty. More than that, they demand closure. We gave you a chance at a new life, a quiet life, and you just walked right back into the old one." I finally found my voice, my gaze shifting between the body on the floor and the men by the door. "Is this a warning?" The man allowed a small, cold smile to touch his lips. "No," he said. "This is a receipt, a final invoice." And just like that, they were gone, leaving me alone in the suffocating silence with my dead twin, and 1,000 questions swirling in my head. Who was he? A decoy? A replacement? A ghost from a past I couldn't even remember creating? That's when I saw it. Tucked into the pocket of the dead man's jacket was a small, folded note. My heart hammered against my ribs as I unfolded it. The handwriting was mine. Unmistakably mine. The message was short, cryptic. "If you're reading this, they found you. Finish what you started." And beneath those chilling words, taped to the paper, was a small, ornate silver key. It felt heavy in my palm, a key to a lock I didn't know existed. A key to my own forgotten past. Hours later, the rain had stopped, but the city was still cloaked in a damp, pre-dawn gloom. I was at the central station, the key feeling like a hot coal in my pocket. It fit an old, forgotten locker in the luggage storage area. The metallic click as the lock turned sounded deafeningly loud in the empty hall. Inside, there wasn't much. Just a dusty, handheld cassette recorder, a sealed envelope, and a single train ticket to Rome. My hands were shaking as I pressed the play button on the recorder. A hiss of static, and then, a voice stopped my voice. But younger, colder. "If you're hearing this," my past self said through the crackle, "the truth is already in motion. They think they've trapped you, but this is your way out. Deliver what you find in Rome and disappear again. For good this time." The voice was a stranger, a man I no longer knew. But his instructions were clear. The drive to Rome was a blur. I pushed the car through the night. Every pair of headlights in my rearview mirror feeling like a threat. Every shadow stretching across the road like an outstretched hand trying to pull me back. The sun was just beginning to streak the sky with shades of orange and purple when I arrived at the address from the letter, a quiet, unassuming storage facility near the coast. The salty air was a stark contrast to the stale, metallic scent of my immediate past. The letter contained a unique number and a combination. Inside, a man was waiting for me. He was young, maybe in his late 20s, with the same watchful eyes I used to have. He gave me a slow, knowing smile. "Every system replaces its tools eventually," he said, his voice steady. "I'm yours." And in that moment, the entire horrifying picture clicked into place. This was the cycle, the end game for every cleaner. You spend your life erasing others until one day, you become the one to be erased. But not this time, not me. I wasn't just a tool to be discarded. The man who recorded that tape, the Marco from 15 years ago, had set a different plan in motion. A final cleanup. I handed the new cleaner the recorder. "There's one last message on there for you," I told him. He looked at me, confused, and pressed play. As the sun finally crested the horizon, bathing the coastline in a warm, golden light, my own voice, the one I'd just recorded in the car, filled the small space. "For whoever finds this, remember, we all tried to erase something. A mistake, a debt, a name. But no matter how clean you make it, the water always remembers." I walked out of that storage unit and didn't look back. I walked toward the sea, toward the endless horizon. They called me the cleaner. And this time, finally, I cleaned my own story. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It's been a long night, but a new day is dawning. If you enjoyed the story and want to hear more, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Your support means the world. Stay safe, and see you in the next one.